Welcome to the Sleazy Podcast, the podcast about anything and everything, but mostly TV and movies. And now it's time to get sleazy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get sleazy. This is episode 129 of the Sleazy Podcast. I'm your host, Sleazy. Tonight I am joined by Mr. PBS.
I'm not going to tell you it again. Keep my name out your mouth.
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to, dude. I'm going to. And also joined by Hot Sauce.
I'm here.
Hot Sauce is in Chicagoland area. My first F up of the night.
My God.
And we've got the pit bull, Robzilla.
Hello.
He's a pit bull and a lizard, if that makes sense.
You don't have alopecia, do you, Rob?
I'm just,
I have
bald.
alopecia. I'm bald too.
I'm just bald.
He's a
So is
manatee.
Don't hear me crying about it.
Is that like the excuse now? Like, I have alopecia, you know?
I guess.
You know, I do think you should always be cautious about making fun of somebody's hair, you know, with cancer and autoimmune disease and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's usually just not funny anyway. Like when Sleazy calls you like a bald bitch or something like that. It's funny because it's us, but
As you can see, I'm laughing because it's funny.
I don't know if I'd make fun of somebody else's hair, generally speaking.
No. But tonight's episode is all about the Sleazies. We're back after our year of being off due to the pandemic. There really wasn't a consistent amount of movies and TV to come out to kind of judge what we could say is the best of the year or whatever. So, and this year, Sleazy, there might be some stuff that was like from 2020, just to forewarn you, but maybe it's on the very little end.
I mean, 2020 was so bad that Robzilla was up for a best supporting.
Right.
So, I mean,
That's terrible.
Didn't he win best producer or shittiest producer?
Yeah,
Our
shittiest producer.
Shittiest producer in
Yeah.
our last.
he said he couldn't even win shittiest producer, but it was an honor to be nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah. You piece of shit.
Yeah, it happens, man.
It's like it doesn't just happen. I work at it.
It's a tough job. It's tough being a fuck
It's
up.
a tough job, but somebody's got to not do it.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2022 Sleazies. Don't you love this award show music?
It's very inspiring.
Yeah.
And coming to the stage,
Robzilla.
and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Can you imagine like slapping the shit out of somebody and then hearing this music come on? Like, my
you're-
God, go to commercial.
Sort of
Like he's a hero.
sort of vaguely inspiring.
So I think the Will Smith shit was totally staged. It just seems so weird.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, like today, he's resigning from the Academy. So, I mean, it's just something just seems weird. Like,
I don't know.
Even when like Will Smith's approaching Chris Rock and the way he's like standing there, it's just kind of weird.
hey, we're all out of sync tonight.
Yeah.
Can't talk worth a
I
shit.
can't.
Can't hit
I
the
was just
button.
gonna get ready to ask, do you guys smell burnt toast or some shit? Because I'm feeling some stroke, something going on over there.
It's in the air. But I just think Will Smith's going through some stuff. Like wasn't that live or whatever when Jada said he was cheating on him or had cheated on him? Like I think something broke in him.
Yeah. It was like on their show, wasn't it?
He definitely has issues. Like Jim Carrey said, like, there's just something going on with Will Smith that Will Smith needs to figure out.
Yeah.
But
It was a dumb joke. Like it wasn't even a particularly good joke or particularly like mean joke.
Yeah.
So I mean, Will Smith was definitely in the wrong, but at the same time, I feel like you said, something's wrong with him.
Well, he was laughing at the joke, and then she turns and looks at him, and then
But
all
she
of a
just
sudden
kind of rolled her eyes too.
Yeah.
She didn't really.
Yeah.
And what gets me is
she
has-
definitely laughed when he got smacked.
Yeah, she laughed then. Well, just like she has alopecia, but I mean, she's always had short hair most of her career, anyways. You know what I mean? But
Not bald, but
still, and then there's like her, have a clip, and she's saying that I don't care about what you say about my bald head. I'm like,
yeah, obviously that's not true.
yeah, obviously not. So
Oh, it definitely. I I listened to, I forget who it was, somebody talking about it. He's like, you got to realize the people that are attending the Oscars.
Mm.
These are people that aren't used to violence or seeing anyone hit in any kind of nature. So for them to see that slap was kind of like very traumatizing to them, you know, in their world they live in.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I guess I could totally see that, you know.
All I saw was a millionaire slap another millionaire. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, I've seen that before in real life. We've all seen somebody get slapped for talking shit.
I've never got to see millionaires fight though.
No,
Well,
that
I guess
is
we
true.
have technically boxing matches.
Yeah, but not your average, you know, not a MMA millionaire or boxer millionaire.
Yeah.
But wow, you know, he just went up and smacked him. I mean, that was like form correct smacking too.
Right.
I mean, he had the whole chest thing going.
Smack shit out of your kid.
Like if it had just been the smack, I'd have said, okay, maybe that was staged. But like, you know, Will Smith dropping an F-bomb on live TV.
On live TV.
Twice.
He was
Like
he was channeling Tupac that night.
Had to be consoled in the commercial with like Denzel Washington and Bradley Cooper and everything.
It's funny because it muted when I was watching it, and I had my head down texting you guys, like talking about the Oscars, obviously. And I was like, it muted. So I looked back up and he's like screaming at Chris Rock. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then people started sharing the Australian feed and the Japanese feed. And it was like, wow, he looked pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you're the Oscars, you got to love this. I mean,
Yeah.
like they've had like such fucking low numbers like for years now. And now they're like, it's all anybody's talking about. Like Ukraine is just suddenly just done.
You hear about Ukraine? No, but did you hear about Will Smith
It's
smacking shit
all
at Chris
about
Rock?
Will Smith. Even like shows dedicated to political discussion, like they're just, you know, going on the Will Smith bandwagon and talking about this all fucking week. And you're like, wow, man.
And it's so funny because there's been some posts too. Mutual friends of ours are like, the first time I don't watch the Oscars and this happens. And
Right,
like,
right. So with the Will Smith drama being cleared, I mean, obviously, I think it's a little bit staged. You guys don't, apparently, because of Will Smith's attitude.
It was
it's
legit.
kind of,
But these
it's just
are,
off.
listen, these are the best people in the world at acting.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be staged and they can pull it off,
Well,
they can pull it off.
Is Chris Rock that really good of an actor? That's what I first said to somebody. It's like, I don't think Chris Rock's that good of
He
an
can
actor.
pull that off. He can pull that off. Okay. So moving along, it's time to get into the categories for the 2022 Sleazys. So I'm going to share my screen here.
First and a half annual.
Yeah. This is the second annual, you know, we'll just say that. Okay. Share screen.
It's the bi-yearly tradition.
Yeah. Well, you know, we would have done one last year had the world not been shut down and movies be pushed back. And
you know, movies are like any other job. Some years they're just not great ones, you know. Some years it's just like, hey, we put out a movie. Maybe
Job.
you shouldn't have the Oscars every year, you know.
What's a job?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So here is the first category. And as you can tell, there's only one movie here. This is Robzilla's movie.
This needs to be like the Robzilla Award.
Yeah.
We need like a name for it.
But it's the shittiest movie of the year award. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Rob has totally let us down this year.
I have.
He like the one year he found, what was it?
Was that Velasa Pastor?
Yeah,
Velasa Pastor.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't find a shittier movie that year. This year, Rob just looks in fucking Amazon Prime for whatever he can find. But go ahead. Well, this is your category.
Well,
so.
I had one movie picked out, but I went and found out.
What was the runner-up that you had?
The first one was Jack versus Lanterns. So, I read it and it said it's 2021, but then I went and was looking for something and it came out like 2017. So I was like, well, you can't really do it. Yeah,
fucking read it.
Yeah, no, I was dead serious. So I found this one called Untitled Horror Movie. So It's pretty shitty.
And what's it about?
So basically, it's almost similar to if you watched like those I think it's called Unfriended or something. So it's basically there's 6 friends, co-workers.
Is that the playing them off music? the wrap it up.
I like to thank God.
And the Academy. And Billy and Janie, go to bed, honey.
Yeah, we love you.
I had to do that to Rob.
You know what we need to do? We've been sharing those TikToks in the group, but we should make Rob watch all those bad Christian movies and pick one out of
Oh my God. Did you see the one I shared the other day?
That was the 2025 one, the pandemic or whatever. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be like the pandemic.
Yeah.
I'd actually seen that one a while ago. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Where they take freedom away and ban Christianity.
Communism is everywhere. We'll have to put that on the burner for next year. Rob, you're in charge of watching the bad Christian movies.
We should make a T-shirt that says that communism is everywhere. Oh man, that would be great. I love that dude's account, by the way.
Yeah, he did some fun reviews, and he's got that whole series of bad Christian movie reviews.
Yeah. Okay, so you were saying, Rob, like it's just a shitty movie, huh?
Yeah, shitty movie. Just look it up if you want to watch it.
So what's it like? You said what was
so
it? You compared it to a movie
it's
earlier.
called Unfriended. So basically, there's 6 friends / coworkers. So they're on a TV show, but it's on hiatus. You're gonna play the music. It really sucks. So go check it out.
Or don't.
Like, thank God.
for getting me through that.
Yeah, thank God for getting me through this shitty ass movie.
All right, so let's get started. Let us get fucking started. I had to fuck with Rob. You know? Did you guys like the video I sent of Rob laying with that dude in the pool earlier?
What?
It was that the alligator.
The guy dancing with the fucking alligator.
The dude's just like hugging an alligator.
He's like doing like a fucking.
What was the caption? Like, I refuse to believe Florida exists or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we are now moving on to Best Limited Series, and the nominees are HBO Max's The Flight Attendant. You know, that would star in
Kaylee Cuoco or
Kaylee Cuoco or whatever. I don't ever say her last name.
Cuoco,
right.
whatever.
But I just know she's really hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Big Bang Theory. Okay, Disney Plus, WandaVision, Showtime, Dexter New Blood, Disney Plus again, Hawkeye, and a Peacock original, Dr. Death. All right, guys. So what do you think? We'll start with you, Hot Sauce. What's your vote?
This is a tough one because no, it's not WandaVision.
Okay, moving along. Robzilla.
WandaVision all day.
Me, Hawkeye. I just had it's a lot more a fun show for me.
Okay, moving along to Mr. PBS.
I mean, doesn't Dexter have to win by default just because it makes up for that horrible ending from season 9 or whatever?
But people complained about Dexter this time again.
Yeah, of course they did.
Yeah.
But I liked Dexter this time. I thought it was a way better ending than that fucking shitty
Dumping Deborah off in a hurricane.
hurricane.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Becoming a lumberjack.
Fuck ever.
Now we'll be split here if I vote truly who I want it to be. But I think a nomination is good enough for The Flight Attendant. So I got to go on WandaVision. Yeah, it was the best limited series. What we have 8 episodes or 6 episodes?
Yeah, it was 8 episodes.
And it was all everybody was talking about on the internet.
Well, that was like the first
I was gonna
big.
say, was it the first
big
pretty
one?
much?
And then plus we had the pandemic, so like everybody's like, "Oh my god!"
It was definitely a way to help you get through the pandemic. You know what you look forward to for about 6 weeks in a row. You know,
Yeah.
And you notice how Disney Plus is calling it limited series now, limited events.
Mhm.
So I noticed Moon Knight is a 6-night limited event. But yeah, so WandaVision is our 2022 winner for limited TV series, best limited TV series. Okay, moving along, our next category is best score. Now, this category, we all have our specialties here on the Sleazy Podcast. we have Mr. PBS. He is Mr. Score when it comes to movie scores.
He's the master.
He buys the soundtracks and he listens to movies, music from the movies. I mean, religiously. He's got his own little collection. He'd rather have it on vinyl, if you ask him, than CD
Loser.
or
Old soul.
MP3. Yeah. But this is his category specifically. So the nominees are Dune, Don't Look Up, No Time to Die, and The Power of the Dog. So, sir, who are you going to throw the winner?
I'll throw in a quick honorable mention. Is the score for Spencer was really good. I know it didn't make it. You guys haven't seen it yet.
No, we haven't seen it.
But it's sort of like it's from Johnny Greenwood, who's in Radiohead, and it's sort of dissonant jazz with some strings and classical music. It's almost like a horror movie at times. And that was really kind of cool. But everybody loves a Bond movie score, but I think I got to go with Dune on this one. Hans Zimmer.
I had a feeling Hans Zimmer can't lose.
I know it's Interstellar was one of my favorite scores a couple years ago. And this one, it's very like, they call it soundscapes or whatever. So it's not necessarily like recurring motifs and all that, but it really, as much as I was sort of disappointed with Dune, the score really had me into it.
Could you believe all the fucking Oscars that Dune was winning?
Yeah.
Like when I tuned, I got in about halfway and it just kept winning. And it won like 6 fucking Oscars.
It's the most awarded movie of the night.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like the one they won was for best visual effects. And I was like, this movie has better visual effects than Spider-Man No Way Home, than the fucking Bond movie.
Didn't you see all those green screen shots of like one person standing on a street for No Way Home? People were ripping that one up.
Oh, it's still way better than Dune, I think. The whole movie was in a fucking desert, kind of. I mean, come on, man.
I think there's one shot in Dune that's better than a lot of movies out there this year.
I mean, I'll give it. Dune has great cinematography.
Yeah, it does.
But visual effects, I mean, I kind of think of like, you know what I mean? Crazy shit,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just didn't think it should have won for that. And that's where we, I think we're gonna, we always the purpose of this award show is to just be a little different from the Oscars.
Yeah.
We don't always have to. This is the Sleazys after all. We don't always have to be quite so highbrow.
No.
Yeah. I mean, for like honorable mention too, I would say like for score would be the Batman. Yeah.
Robzilla, what year are you in, buddy?
I know.
That's one that just came out last month.
Yeah. It didn't quite hit the
yeah, I know.
I say, this year because everything's a little pushed back because of
right.
Obviously because of COVID. Normally we would have done this in February, I believe.
Yeah.
That's normally when the Oscars are. And we do our thing the week after the Oscars. But Batman didn't come out till February.
Right.
So I mean January was kind of like the cutoff for me.
Okay.
For this year. But Batman will definitely be included next year.
Yeah.
And you can I would vote for Batman on best score next year, depending on what else is out. Unless Hans Zimmer kills it again next year.
Right.
But he's got to be retiring, I would think.
I don't know about that.
He's definitely retired from superhero stuff. I know that.
Did you see when he won, he's doing some movie in Amsterdam or something.
Oh yeah.
It was like 2 a.m. So his daughter woke him up and they went down to the hotel bar or whatever and had a drink. And
oh, that's cool.
In the picture, he's in his robe with like I don't know if it's a fake Oscar or whatever in his pocket.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Did he have a sleep cap on?
No.
That would be the best if you had a sleep cap and a pipe and a fucking candle lit, the little brass holder for the candle and walking his way down the hotel.
How's he making all that electronic music?
He's a beast, man. But I like Hans Zimmer. I'm not going to lie about that. Okay, so Dune is the winner of best score. So we're moving along. What can we say here? All right. Best cinematography. This one might get a little dicey here between all of us. Nominees are Dune, The Power of the Dog, No Time to Die, and Nightmare Alley. So, Hot Sauce, what are you thinking?
See, I enjoyed Nightmare Alley. I thought they did some good stuff, but I'll probably have to go with Dune on this one.
Okay. Robzilla.
I will have to go with Power of the Dog.
Okay. Why is that?
Beautiful cinematography. A lot of the cattle ranches. So basically, a lot of the mountains. Beautiful scenery. So that would.
Rob just loves him some cowboys.
I know. I do.
Mhm.
Now, Dad, you get some sleep.
Totally
Okay, don't stay up.
totally shitting on Rob tonight.
It's funny, so it's okay.
Okay, Mr. PBS.
I think I'm going to go with Nightmare Alley on this one.
Really?
For all of its pros and cons, I think it looked great.
Yeah. You know, I got to say, I watched Nightmare Alley the other night, and it felt like I was watching a movie,
Yeah.
Like it just gave you that feeling you had when you were a kid of watching a movie and being amazed by the nighttime shots they did. And
back when we were young, movies and TV looked different.
Yeah.
Not
like
so much anymore.
There's something about Nightmare Alley that looks different. I'll give it that much. It is a phenomenally shot movie.
Well, it's got a touch of, because it's Guillermo del Toro too. So
I'm not a Guillermo del Toro fan traditionally. And now moving along to Power of the Dog, some of those shots are just beautiful. I mean, when you're watching that movie, you're amazed.
Yeah.
And the part where he asked the boy, "What do you see out there in the mountains?" It's like a dog. How'd you see that?
How'd you see that quick?
I mean, I really thought Power of the Dog was a beautifully shot movie. And, I got to say, I guess I'm the tiebreaker here. It's tough, man.
Be smart now. Rob's going to reach over and smack you.
He can't. I have no fear of that happening.
Okay. Can't reach you.
Yeah, he's only like halfway there.
Gotcha.
Oh,
He'd
man.
have to get a lot closer than Will Smith.
I think, what I just said about Nightmare Alley just convinced me to go Nightmare Alley.
It's a good choice too.
I was totally Power of the Dog before going into this and thinking about Nightmare Alley. I got to go Nightmare Alley.
And I like that time period too, like the early 40s. And then, guys smoking, they got drinks, and
So Nightmare Alley is our winner here. Man, that's totally different from all the other award shows.
Yeah.
And I really like Nightmare Alley. I thought it was beautiful. I mean, it had a good look to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything staged looked perfect. I mean, it looked good.
Now I will
just
say
like
this.
Dune a little bit more.
It felt like I watched that movie for 10 fucking hours.
I know, right?
But the ending really paid off.
Mm-hmm. It had William Dafoe in it too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, William Dafoe was in
I
it.
fucking love William Dafoe.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And you know what I just realized? We don't have a best director category.
Oh, it's true.
I didn't do a best director category. Maybe we can do that on like our best picture or something at the end. Or we can do it now if we want.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't trust you to look the names up and type it all in. We'll just maybe we'll just award that afterwards.
Okay.
And it'll just be a surprise post.
Okay.
Okay. So moving along to our Lifetime Achievement Award. And this stems from some breaking news this week with Bruce Willis. But Bruce Willis is our Lifetime Achievement Award winner this year. This is a new category. Normally we had some other categories that we did the first time around, but we just haven't caught up in those areas this time, like Instagram Hottie of the Year and stuff like that. So, but Bruce Willis has the Lifetime Achievement Award this year. He is retiring from acting due to what's the disease called?
Well, they said aphasia. Basically, he has trouble writing and he's going to have trouble reading and all that, and
communicating.
And possibly in conjunction with dementia, something like that.
Dementia, Alzheimer's.
Very sad news.
Yeah.
They said this has been going on for years. Like that's why he's been doing all these shitty movies. He's just been banking fucking money left and right.
I'm not gonna. Some people have been calling out some of the people who've been kind of letting him have it over the last couple of years, and either he's been healthy enough to make those decisions, or somebody's been making those decisions for him.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get on those people who've been sort of making fun of him the last couple of years, because in 5 years, 10 years, whatever, we're not going to remember any of those movies.
Exactly.
We are still going to be talking about Die Hard. We're still going to be talking about The Fifth Element, you know, and
He's always going to be remembered for his better movies.
that's the stuff that's really, really going to matter, and the stuff we remember him for.
I mean, yeah.
Is that all you had to say?
Well, it's just like Nicolas Cage. I mean, you know, we don't you fucking play it. Don't you fucking play it, you dick.
Ladies and gentlemen, he just saw me go for the button. And he was like,
You're just going to have to keep your hand on the button at all times so you
Yeah.
don't know when it's coming.
Don't you want to comment on that? No.
I almost pushed it there. I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, what were you saying, Hot Sauce? Were you saying anything about this?
I don't think so.
You know, it is sad what's going on with Bruce Willis, and you know, at least he won't be making any more shitty movies. I mean,
Yeah.
Hopefully he's got enough time left and enough whatever to enjoy his life. I mean, he's got his money, he's got his family's got money, and
yeah, I think he was just trying to make as much as he could before he went out. Obviously, you know, he knew he was going to have to retire soon. But man, that's just crazy that, you know, I heard he fired a gun off early.
yeah, there was some
And
that's been sort of disputed.
yeah,
The actress said it happened, but others said it didn't. So
and then
sort of allegedly, but
the earpiece having to have his lines fed to him, and
right.
man, that kind of sucks, dude. You know,
Yeah.
Kevin Smith came out and apologized to him, you know, after their beef they had on the set of
Cop Out.
Cop Out. I guess they had a hard time filming Cop Out.
I thought he said like Bruce Willis was really
A dick to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't know his lenses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, you know. It's over. So congratulations on a dynamite career, Bruce Willis. You will always be judged on the better movies that you've done, such as Die Hard, Fifth Element.
You'll always be John McClane to me.
Exactly. And you know, I hope he enjoys the rest of his life. And moving along, we are now in to the best horror / thriller. So the nominees are Halloween Kills, Malignant, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, Scream, which would be Scream number 5, but it's just called Scream. Old, Black Friday. That was a good one if you didn't see that, ladies and gentlemen. And Army of the Dead. Now, I think we're going to start this one off first with Robzilla.
I'm gonna go with Halloween Kills.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I already know I'm getting overruled on this one.
All right, so go ahead, man. Let us hear what you got to say.
Rob, go for it.
He said Halloween Kills.
Yeah, I said Halloween Kills.
Oh, well, he didn't want to give us any little like details or anything. He just wanted to Halloween and roll with it, huh?
He's afraid of getting
Yeah, I'm gonna get booed off the
Buddy, I
stage.
can't smack you from fucking 6
I won't
hours
hit the
away.
button, sir. I'm sorry.
He get halfway, be like, I think it's Halloween.
Well, I love the Halloween franchise, and then that was put. You motherfucker.
I'm not gonna do it, dude. I'm just.
And of course, that was pushed back as the pandemic, because it was supposed to have been out last year. You motherfucker.
You should move the mixer up a little bit so you can see it on the camera when your hand goes for it.
Yeah.
But it was pushed back, and then I just love the series. And after
This
Halloween.
was like your most anticipated.
it was, I
movie.
mean, then I heard it got pushed back. I was like, oh fuck, stupid pandemic. But I mean, then all the entire category, all the movies on there is solid, all of them. So
And I mean, we're not like overly like, what do you want to call it? Horror snobs.
yeah,
Like some of these people, they go all out and they have to watch every fucking,
right.
you know, what was it, the A24 people and
Mm-hmm.
Blumhouse and,
Uh-huh.
you know, like we've got to see every fucking movie. Like they would, you know, obviously we're more like a mainstream horror kind of fans, I would say. But this is very mainstream, obviously, because these are all theater released for the most part, besides Black Friday.
And
Malignant.
Malignant.
Well, Malignant didn't have a chance because of
Yeah.
COVID, but it would have been in theaters. And obviously, Army of the Dead was a Netflix release. But okay, so hot sauce.
I fucking enjoyed Malignant.
It's a good choice.
It was a good movie, man.
Yeah.
That's
I
why it's
enjoyed it.
nominated.
It was I'm sitting there watching it, and it was just kind of like, yeah, okay. And it was just that holy fucking shit moment. Like I kind of should have seen that coming,
Yeah.
but I didn't. But I'll be goddamn if I didn't fucking like it. Like I really fucking liked Malignant.
Yeah,
I
There
had a
was
fun
some
time
really
watching
great.
it.
There was some really great scenes in it that I mean were really fucking fun.
Mhm.
And then the ending just totally paid off for it, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was it was just different.
And by James Wan.
Yeah, James Wan kills it, man.
Mhm.
All right, Mr. PBS.
I'm gonna have to go with Scream.
You're going with Scream.
I thought
Great choice.
it was right on the money for what it needed to be. I thought, all the legacy characters they brought back were handled really well. They all had stories and reasons to be there. I like the new characters enough. I thought it was just really well made, real well written. It had some moments where you were like, oh shit. And then it had some moments where you're like, where the killer's gonna be like, shoot that shit, do it.
Mhm.
I was into it. So
I mean, I was next to Mr. PBS, and me and him were kind of like, oh fuck, oh shit. Oh.
Always go for the head.
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that one hit the sweet spot for me.
And so out of all these movies on here, I have to say I was disappointed by The Conjuring. I'm a fan of the Conjuring series, but that last Conjuring, it's mainly just on here out of respect.
Right.
And Old, I don't know, there was something that disappointed me about Old. Like it was very interesting to watch, but it just disappointed me at the end.
And it's M. Night Shyamalan, so it's kind of hit and miss.
I mean, Black Friday, I really had fun watching Black Friday.
That's a fun flick.
Fucking Bruce Campbell,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a couple other people in there
Devin
too.
Sawa or whatever.
Yeah, and Army of the Dead. I'm one of the few people I really had fucking fun watching that.
It's a fun-ass movie.
Maybe
I
because-
loved it. I thought it was fucking great. I fucking
did
loved
too.
Army of the Dead.
and people fucking trashed it, but I thought I had so much fun watching that. It really felt like I was watching like an old school zombie movie mixed in with a heist movie.
Yeah.
And it was a little different, and I just had a blast fucking watching it.
Well, I liked all the stuff that you missed that we saw on TikTok.
All the Easter eggs in that fucking movie. And I was like, man, I thought I fucking saw a fucking robot eye in that shit. And then kind of find out you did. And oh yeah, that was a fucking UFO in the one scene.
Yeah.
So, like what was going on? Like I want more from that.
Right.
And I think that is a lot of people's problem. They wanted answers that they're just not going to get from that movie. They got to wait for the sequel.
Yeah.
But as far as like true horror, man, I mean, Scream really delivered. I mean, I was really surprised for it being the 5th installment and kind of an overall passing of the torch.
Mm-hmm.
So, not a reboot, but a passing of the torch.
Mm-hmm.
But man, Halloween Kills was just so brutal. And
that first, like, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes of Halloween Kills, where it's like a flashback to 1977, or that was really
phenomenally done,
amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of people that had problems with Halloween Kills. I didn't have any problems. I thought the kills were brutal, and this is really tough for me to do because it's just two of literally my favorite franchises that I'm bouncing back and forth between here. And I
go ahead and reach over there, Rob, and play him off.
He doesn't know which button it is.
I'll figure it out.
He'll be hitting the line. I'm gonna go with Halloween Kills.
Evil dies tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it didn't happen.
I mean, Scream was really anticipated, but I don't think I really wanted to see Halloween Kills, and it did pay off for me. And they both paid off. They're both very well deserving of this award. But I'm going to go Halloween Kills.
I was just more nervous about Scream if it was going to, might be like the worst Scream entry or how they're going to do it. So,
I really like Scream 4, and
that's the one I need to rewatch.
Yeah, I think that one was a little ahead of its time.
It was,
but man, Yeah, Scream was good, and I mean to bring all the what they could of the originals back, and like I said, pass the torch. It was a damn fine movie.
It's okay. You only got to wait another 300 and whatever days. The next one will be out.
Yeah, are they going to make another one?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 6 and 7. I know they just finished or they're working on the script and they're giving it to Nev Campbell.
They gave a release date already for the next one. It's going to be like March next year.
Oh Jesus! So they got to start filming like
yeah, so they're
ASAP.
gonna crank it out.
All right, so moving along to the next category here is best TV/streaming series, and the nominees are Netflix's Squid Game, Netflix's Ozark, HBO Succession, HBO Euphoria, Hulu The Handmaid's Tale, Paramount Evil, and Showtime Yellow Jackets. All right, Mr. PBS, you don't have any opinion in this matter, do you?
Not particularly. These have all been really well received, and I don't know if I could pick one from that.
So, and you're not too much of a series guy. You're kind of more the movie guy too. So, I think this is going to be a 3-way battle here. So,
I don't know.
Robzilla, who you picking?
Hands down for me is Ozark.
Ozark?
Marty Bird, baby.
Marty Bird.
You see the one of the Will Smith memes was like Jason Bateman just kind of smiling when it happened, and they're like, he's been getting warped from being on Ozark for so long.
Right.
Nothing phases Jason Bateman after doing that show.
Hot Sauce, what are you thinking over there in the Chicagoland area?
I'm torn on this one because I mean I've discussed at length the happiness, I guess, the euphoria of watching Euphoria. Couldn't think of the right word I want to use there. I still feel like even though it's very well received, it's very popular, I mean, a lot of people watch it. I feel like everybody watched Squid Game though. Like Euphoria, it has its fans, it has its devotees, but I just feel like everybody watched Squid Game. There are very few people you can find that didn't watch Squid Game.
That was a very, very heavily memed series.
Yeah, a lot of people talked about it, and Euphoria has its following. It has the people that watch it. It's got its diehard fans. It's got its
Nudity.
Discord servers and everything. But
some of the Euphoria has some of the best titty scenes you'll see.
I feel like more people watch Squid Game, and just it was a bigger thing for me with Squid Game.
I felt like Euphoria was like all anybody was talking about for like the past 3 months.
I mean, like even posts are like, "Oh, did you watch new Euphoria?" I'm like, "What? Oh, yeah."
Yeah, but I mean, you do draw an interesting point there. Squid Game was definitely the talk of the internet when it came out, and I was a little late watching it, but I watched it and it was good. It was definitely good. Ozark just continually delivers. I mean, it's one of the most solid shows. Succession is a really great show. If you haven't seen it, you got to get on HBO Max and watch it. It's about a family that owns kind of like a media empire like Fox News.
It's supposed to be sort of Fox News.
The kids are kind of like fighting over who's going to succeed the father. The father's not ready to give it up. So he's kind of screwing the kids over left and right, and the kids are screwing him over. They're just a terrible fucking family. And I mean, Euphoria. I mean, what do you say? It's a great fucking show. Very popular. The Handmaid's Tale. Very popular too. Amongst the liberal crowd, I guess you could say. Phenomenal show. It's very well deserving of an award. Evil is an up and coming show, I think, and I think a lot of people aren't hip to it because it's on Paramount streaming.
Yeah.
So they kind of took it off TV to put it on there so they could have a little more spicier show of it. And then Yellow Jackets is a fucking good show. I mean, that's worth paying for a month
Mhm.
of Showtime, binge through it, and fucking go.
That one was blowing up the Twitter feed there for a while too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is good.
Especially amongst the horror people.
And yeah, I mean, it's just like you don't know what the fuck's going on in that show. You're not like they're one step ahead of you. You think you're guessing something, and you're boom, you're done. But I really look forward to more Yellow Jackets. But you know, is it worthy of the best TV streaming? Not yet, but it's worthy of a nomination. We'll say that. To me, it's down to Euphoria and Squid Game. Rob's just disappointed. He's not going to win a fucking argument tonight.
I'm not.
So, and I mean, I think that, you know, Hot Sauce brought up a good point, man. There for a while, I mean, everybody was talking about Squid Game. It was the talk of the town, talk of the internet, probably the most memed show that we could talk about. I mean,
all over TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know if it broke records on Netflix or anything like that.
That's always hard to tell.
They don't really release their numbers, so you
Yeah,
can't tell.
They tell you what they want to tell you.
But I mean, what's the red light?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Red light,
that was
green light.
Red light, green light.
That was a holy shit moment.
Let's green light it for best TV streaming series.
I mean,
Squid Games.
all this is a good series. And then they're gonna have season 2. So
This might be the toughest category because I mean, all these shows are so fucking good. They're really fucking good, and I mean, if you've watched them, it's hard to say which one is the best.
I mean, if you like Squid Games, watch Alice in Borderland, because I personally like that more than Squid Games. So check that out.
Why is that?
I just like the story better. And
set him up.
Gotcha, bitch.
fucking hate you.
Sucker, man. I was waiting. I'm sitting there waiting like this motherfucker.
I saw Rob's head. I saw his eyes go to the back of his head to think, and I was like, got him.
Yeah, I'm watching Sleazy's hand, just trying to not give it away. Like, oh, he's going for it. It's like a quick draw contest. Man.
That might be the best thing ever. Man. That would be great if you just do that on your phone. Just play people out while they're like boring you in conversations, you know?
Oh, yeah, Dave Chappelle show had that whole the wrap it up thing.
Oh, yeah, they
Wrap it
did.
up,
That's
yeah.
right.
Wrap it up button.
Oh, that's so great. All right, moving on to our next category here. Best sci-fi / comic series. And this is going to be a tough one here. All right, Disney Plus, Hawkeye. Disney Plus, WandaVision, already a winner tonight at the Sleazys. Disney Plus, Loki. Netflix's Lost in Space. They were our last winner from the last Sleazys. Disney Plus, Mandalorian. Disney Plus is just leading the way in this category, you know?
Clean it up.
And HBO Max original, Peacemaker, starring John Cena. All right. I'm going to let Hot Sauce go first.
See, this is a tough one too. I enjoy. I'm a Lost in Space fan. I love it. I think
It's
great.
the best sci-fi show out.
Yeah, like I love Lost in Space. I enjoyed Loki. I thought Hawkeye was really good. I don't know. I just keep coming back to WandaVision. Like WandaVision was something. It was something special for me. You know, I've got my friend Steve, excuse me, that you know, the trivia host, and like it was after WandaVision every night, you know, as soon as me and my wife watched it, because he would watch it, you know, as soon as it drops at 3 a.m. Eastern or whatever, you know, whenever it dropped, you know, when I'd get to it that night after dinner or whatever, and, you know, him and I would just text back and forth all night long, you know, what does this mean? What is this? You know, what's this for? What are they going for? WandaVision was probably the best series I watched, you know, this year. So, I mean, I probably have to go with WandaVision on this.
How many weeks and different fucking theories did people come up with?
Oh, it was something every week.
It was
Every week we had
ridiculous.
something new.
Oh, Doctor Strange is in this.
If you see that,
Wolverine's gonna be in it.
if you see, there's the Fantastic Four symbol on the.
Oh, I
on the
know.
board
People
there.
were overanalyzing, and they were all fucking wrong.
Mhm.
But they were doing shit though. Like they were
Yeah.
doing shit to us. The whole fucking
They were making people talk.
Mhm.
yeah. What was god damn it? I can't think of the her brother.
Quicksilver.
Yeah, the guy
Quicksilver,
with
yes.
Quicksilver, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole Quicksilver thing where they played the neighbor and Ralph, and then we saw him and it's like, oh shit, this is Quicksilver, and it's not, and it's just WandaVision was just something special, and I don't
Her having the kids and them growing up so quick.
right,
Yeah.
and the whole ties to Mephisto that everybody was waiting for, and where's this going to come in at, and I just think that the other series were all good in their own right, and they all had people talking. But for me personally, WandaVision was it was something special every week.
I hear you, brother. Robzilla,
I'm gonna go Peacemaker.
you're gonna tell us why?
No, I'm not.
I'm not gonna cut you out on this. I really want to hear your opinion on it.
After watching the Suicide Squad, we really liked Peacemaker and John Cena playing that role.
He was
And
a
then
favorite out of the movie.
He was a very
Yeah.
big favorite, and then he got his own spinoff. And then I initially thought it was supposed to be like a prequel before it, but it was actually after Suicide Squad. So, but it's very James Gunn. It's very vulgar, but it's just hilarious.
It's
The characters in
definitely-
it, yeah,
It's an adult themed comic book show.
very adult theme, and it's funny seeing John Cena being that raunchy and dirty, and then I'm like, well, he ain't gonna be asked to come back to Nickelodeon for a while for that kid.
No,
his
he's
Choice
definitely
Awards.
not.
It's just a great cast, and then of course, Robert Patrick, he plays his father, and he's just an old racist prick, and he's hilarious. It's just a great cast, just fun, action's fun. There's really no fillers. I mean, 8 episodes, and it's just to the point.
And you were really high on Hawkeye.
I was, but Peacemaker
Peacemaker all
just
the
took
way.
it for me. Amazing soundtrack, an amazing intro,
Yes.
dance intro, which I
Definitely.
never skip. That's the only one I've never skipped. I watch all the way through.
All right, Mr. PBS.
I just kind of got to keep it classic with Lost in Space. Like as much as like WandaVision and Loki and all that stuff, in a way, it's not science fiction. When I think of science fiction, it definitely has elements of that. But like when I think of science fiction, I think of stuff like Lost in Space, and it's just been so good throughout the 3-season run.
Yeah.
Yeah, just 3.
It's over with.
Danger.
It's over with now.
Yep.
And it ended kind of good, I would say. So, what can you say, man? Hawkeye was really great. It came out around Christmas. It had a Christmas theme to it. WandaVision, like Mike said, Hot Sauce said, it's special for what it is. The way they did it, it's very classic, and it had us talking like you wouldn't believe. Loki was good. It's worth being nominated, but it didn't do anything special, I don't think, to really stand out above anybody else.
Nice seeing Owen Wilson though.
And I mean,
Wow. Wow.
Talkie.
Lost in Space, I mean, it's a great sci-fi show. One of the best sci-fi shows I think anyone will ever watch until we get something new, obviously, which it won't be Lost in Space because it's over with now. And that's so sad because I really enjoyed all the adventures we had with the Robinsons. And Mandalorian, it's been a great show.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. I guess they just wrapped season 3. So we'll be getting some of that, probably in the fall, I would say, or winter.
That sounds about right.
I think it released around October, doesn't it?
Yeah, something like
Runs
that.
around October.
Yeah. Finishes up right around Thanksgiving or something like that.
Sounds right.
But man, goddamn, the most fun I had this year was watching Peacemaker. I just was looking forward to every fucking Thursday for
Same.
fucking Peacemaker. And what can you say? They just fucking hit a home run with it. I mean, to me, it's the standout this year, Peacemaker. So I'm going with Peacemaker. I think that wins the final vote, right?
Yes.
So congratulations to Peacemaker and John Cena. Who's the director? James Gunn.
Mhm.
Yeah. So very well done.
Making a very adult oriented
Yes.
Very.
show.
And I mean, if anything, they can fucking win for that fucking opening credit scene. I mean, geez, I mean, he's bringing back the hair metal bands, you know.
Well, even TikTok, people were doing the intro dance to it too.
Yeah, yeah. People were doing their own versions of it.
I just saw a wedding entrance today.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
You should share that when you get the chance.
I'll have to figure out where I saw that at. It was like they had, the whole bridal party comes out, at the I'm at a loss for words. Jesus. The
Are you smelling burnt toast now?
no,
Yeah.
I am not. The reception. They start the reception off, the wedding party comes out, and the very first ones came out was doing the peacemaker dance. And
Man, I tell you, I was telling Rob, I've been so stressed this week trying to get these categories in order, and I was like sweating. I was like, oh man, am I gonna have time to get this done? I didn't want to fucking half-ass it. I like everything to be ready and kind of in place when we do shows. And this is a little bit more challenging than just writing the syllabus for the show because there's so many categories. And but luckily I got a lot of it done with some help from you guys. Not you, Rob.
I know.
Not you, Mr. PBS.
Nope.
But you, Hot Sauce. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's this is a challenge, and then you have to think about everything you watched. And I mean, as much as there's just too much shit out nowadays. There's
It
too
really
much
is.
shit out, and you forget what you watch. You kind of got to go back and look and see what you did. But man, this is exhausting. I can't imagine having to do this for a fucking television show. You know what I mean? Like, good Lord. Okay, so moving on to the next category. Best Supporting Actress. Now, man, I got to say, it's hard to nominate women.
Mhm.
Like, it is a man's world still in cinema, if you ask me. I mean, there's some great performances, but is there tons of great performances?
Mhm.
That's where you kind of run into a problem is there enough people to nominate? Was there enough outgoing performances, And some people would argue with me, yeah, there is. You're just not watching the right things. But man, I thought it was tough. So first up, we have Zendaya in Spider-Man No Way Home. Carrie Coon, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Leah Sado, is that how you say her name? No Time to Die?
Something like it. French.
It's French, man. We're not going to get it right. Kate Blanchett, Nightmare Alley. Toni Collette, Nightmare Alley. And Zendaya again for Dune. So, Mr. PBS, I'm going to let you lead the way on this one.
All really solid performances from all of them, but I feel like Kate Blanchett. I mean, that was her role in that movie. Is sort of the Ice Queen psychiatrist, kind of a bitch.
She was fucking crazy in that movie.
Yeah. She.
And I mean, the way that they ended with her was just woo.
Yeah. So I feel like she really owned that role, and it's a role that in a way I'd have trouble seeing someone else in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody could have done as good of a job with there. I mean, I'm sure somebody could have, but could they have done as great of a job?
And that was like, I don't know, right in her wheelhouse, and
she stood out. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what we're looking standout performances, and she did. I'm looking at you, Robzilla.
I will go with Kate Lanchette as well.
You really?
Yeah. She played the part really well. I mean, if you look at her, she looks straight from the 40s. And then it's kind of that back and forth she has with Bradley Cooper and then testing him. And then, like you said, being that kind of like ice queen.
Played him like a fucking fiddle.
Got that right. Motherfucker shouldn't start drinking.
I know. But she got him to. That's the thing, man. She just read him like a book.
Go ahead and lay down on that couch and tell me all your secrets.
He was like, I'd rather sit.
There's
like,
that
"Go
word
ahead, lay
again.
down."
There's that word again. Never.
Hot sauce.
I'm going to go kind of against the grain here and pick the same as the first two ahead of me here. As much as I want to stand out on my own, I can't disagree with any of that.
Hey, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and, go right along with you guys. I mean, this is the standout performance out of all these all these well-deserving women of this award. But she just totally stood out. I mean, great performance. Write her name down here. All right, so now we move on to the best supporting actor. Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man No Way Home. Paul Rudd, Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's Rob's boy right there.
Love Paul Rudd.
John Barenthal, King Richard. Rami Malek, No Time to Die. And Jesse Plemons, The Power of the Dog. So, Mr. PBS, what are you thinking?
Again, another category full of great people. Jesse Plemons kills it just about everything he's in. Paul Rudd's always like a fan favorite. Barenthal's always killing it. Rami Malek's always good, but Garfield was just like a smile on my face for that whole Spider-Man movie. He really stole the show. He really, in a way, he got redemption for the mistakes of the other Spider-Man that wasn't his fault. But just like every time he's on the screen, he's just one of the best things about it.
Even the mistakes kind of made his character good in this movie.
Right.
Like, them killing off Gwen, and I mean him failing obviously, and her smacking that pavement.
Is she dead?
Is she dead?
Shit.
But I mean that added to the depth of his character in this movie, and it really just it made No Way Home even more better, and he stood out. We're talking about that standout performance. He stood out.
If I had to pick like one moment, we have to start in that a new category, like one moment in a movie, like all year that was like the magic of movies or whatever you want to call it, like when he saves MJ in the finale. That's just like, I mean, you could have stood up and cheered in the theater, and like nobody would have told you to sit down.
I think a lot of people were. I mean,
just got up, flipped the popcorn bucket, and just fucking walk out. I don't need to see the rest. That's it. Fuck them.
Yeah, it was a great scene, and I mean, it hit you emotionally too. I mean, you were just like, God damn, you just feel his pain, right there. Like, I didn't fail this time.
Yeah.
Like it was all on his face.
Yeah.
Like everything was on his face.
Are you okay?
How about you, Robzilla?
Andrew Garfield. I mean, I love Paul Rudd, but man, Andrew Garfield killed it.
Paul Rudd was really fun in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but Andrew Garfield killed it. I mean, the redemption in, you just see how he's just been so broken after Gwen's death, even when he's talking to Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's just like
the whole scene where he shows up through the portal, and he's what did they call the grandma or whatever? He's like, no, it's okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. She throws bread at him. He's like, why'd you do that? He's just like, she's like, well, don't you have that little spider thing? She's like, yeah, but I guess bread.
Then the grandma finally asked him to clean the cobwebs.
Yeah, he's like, okay,
well, you're up there. Can you get the
hot sauce? What are you thinking?
I think Jesse Plemons is really underrated. He is just he flies under the radar, but he doesn't do anything bad. It's always in that supporting role.
He's solid in everything he's done.
Everything he's in, it's a solid, it's a solid supporting role. Him being in a scene isn't going to hurt that scene. You're like, oh shit, he's going to, fuck this up. But I have to go with my nominee of Andrew Garfield, because he carried from the moment he popped in there till the very end of his scenes. Every scene he was in, he carried damn near the whole entire thing.
And that just solidifies that he's a really good Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he's the thing you probably wanted more of.
I really hope we get another Spider-Man with him at some point.
I think they will. They have to at that point.
They're doing the multiverse and all that.
And plus, the people are they're wanting more Andrew Garfield after that point.
Man, I gotta say, John Barenthal had a standout performance in King Richard. If you watch footage of the tennis coach that he played, he is spot fucking on. Like, I mean, he has this dude down. But I'm with you guys. Andrew Garfield. I mean, Paul Rudd was fun in Ghostbusters. He did his job. He came in and he was Paul Rudd.
Yeah, that's all right. He was Paul Rudd.
But Andrew fucking Garfield, once again, stand-up performance. It's a standout performance,
Stole the movie.
Yeah,
stole the movie.
Literally stole the movie. So, I mean, how do you not award the guy for that? I mean, it's a shame that he's not nominated for an Oscar for that performance. But here on the Sleazy Podcast, we're not fucking snobs.
Nope.
We're gonna give the real awards to the real champions, and that's you, Andrew Garfield. Enjoy your sleazy this year.
If you smack anyone during our show, we're taking your ass outside and beating the shit out of you.
Yeah,
You're going.
we'll
Get the fuck out.
we'll let them handle it, outside. But all right, so we're at the almost towards the end here. We're at Best Actress, and the nominees are McKenna Grace, Ghostbusters Afterlife; Lady Gaga, House of Gucci; Kirsten Dunst, The Power of the Dog; Rooney Mara, Nightmare Alley; and Jennifer Lawrence, Don't Look Up. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I think this is kind of an off the wall one.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna go with Rooney Mara from Nightmare Alley.
Okay. I mean, any reason?
Because I think her and Bradley Cooper really played well with each other in that. I think their two characters back and forth worked out well.
Yeah.
She did a good job playing opposite of him. I mean, it was a good role for her. The movie was good, and I think she really kind of helped bring everything together opposite of him.
It's a good point. Robzilla, what are you looking at?
Just trying to decide.
Now, what are you looking at on your phone?
No, it's just I can't pronounce the girl's name for what is it? Ghostbusters.
McKenna Grace.
Kinda great. You can't fucking pronounce that.
Pronounce it.
Grace.
So I would say McKenna Grace.
To be fair, he's looking at the screen, the monitor here, and it's
Very little.
It's very little. So it's not what I'm looking at on my screen.
I'll say McKenna Grace.
Hey, she rocked it, man.
I mean, she killed it. I mean, there's
she
yeah.
carried a Ghostbusters movie. On top of that, people weren't expecting much out of because of the last shitty Ghostbusters movie.
That movie sucks so bad.
Mr. PBS.
Well, on the one hand, I definitely agree with Hot Sauce that Rooney Mara definitely played that role really well against Bradley Cooper as sort of the innocent wife who knows what's going on and tries to stop it and gets sucked in and all that. But I'm with Robzilla on this one. Like McKenna Grace, like I don't know if it's just acting or that charm she's got, but when she was on the screen, she was always like one of the best things about it. She was always funny. I still think about all the dumb jokes and like the wink.
Yeah.
She says something to Paul Rudd.
Hey,
It's
once
just the
again,
subtle moments that was just hilarious to me.
It's the standout performances, man. I gotta agree. Hot Sauce made a very good point. I mean, and you guys have made very good points, but McKenna Grace would there's just something special about that movie, and she played a very special part in that movie, and she stood out. And like you said, I always think about the jokes, and I mean, she carried the movie as a kid. I mean, how many people can come in and say they did that as an actress or an actor?
Well, especially
econ.
since a very beloved franchise, anyway.
Exactly. I mean, probably one of the most scrutinized. I mean, franchises in the past couple of years. I mean, she went in and delivered. I mean, what else can you say? So I think we're gonna go with McKenna Grace on this one.
Now, what other stuff has she done?
I looked her up a while ago. I can't remember. I feel like she hasn't done a whole lot.
Well, and I know she plays like the nemesis, the arch nemesis of Sheldon in the Young Sheldon, the Big Bang Theory spinoff about Sheldon as a kid. So I know she plays like his nemesis. She's a very intelligent, genius female, to play against his genius male. But I wonder if like she'll get typecast in that role because you got her as like this uber nerd genius kid. Now you got her as like this geeky nerdy girl in Ghostbusters. Like
the nerdy
is she
girl.
gonna get stuck in that role?
I don't know.
I don't know. She looks like she's kind of been all over the place.
Okay.
Good chunk of movies you probably never heard of. I don't know. She was in a Frankenstein in 2015, Angry Birds movie as a voice actor, the Independence Day Resurgence.
Couldn't have told me that.
And Amityville from 2017. She played young Tanya Harding in I, Tanya. She was an elementary school kid.
Yeah, that's
Ready
definitely
Player
not
One.
a nerd there.
She's definitely got some range.
She was young Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel.
See, I didn't know that.
Annabelle Comes Home, Scooby-Doo movie. She was in *Malignant* as a young Madison Lake.
She's got some range.
And television shows. She
Promising
was on The
future.
Young and the Restless for a couple years.
Oh shit.
So she's been around.
How
being
old is
so
she?
young. What is it? 15 now.
I mean, she's
Okay.
done a lot for being only 15.
She's done quite a bit of stuff. Okay.
All right, so moving on.
So she's definitely not going to get typecast as the shitty producer on a podcast or anything like that.
She's too good for that.
Yeah. Moving on to Best Actor. And the nominees are Will Smith, King Richard,
Fuck that guy.
Adam Driver, House of Gucci, Daniel Craig, No Time to Die, Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Bradley Cooper, Nightmare Alley, and Leonardo DiCaprio, Don't Look Up. You got to nominate Leo.
It's Leo.
I mean, he just, the dude delivers. Doesn't matter what he does. So, Robzilla, you want to go first?
I'm gonna pick Leonardo DiCaprio.
You're going to pick Leo.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Leo. I just liked his character in Don't Look Up. He was just that nerdy, geeky scientist guy. You don't really see him play that role often, but he reminded me almost like Leonard from Big Bang Theory. Like he just watched the entire series of that and channeled that into the movie.
Okay.
And I just thought it was just hilarious.
All right. Well, I'm going to pass the torch on to Mr. PBS.
I don't know if I'm in love particularly with any one performance. They're all, they all, like everybody else, they all do, the thing. But I feel like I got to pick Daniel Craig just for the end of his Bond era and in the history,
He gets no love for that role.
he really killed it. He brought it
Yeah.
into the modern Bond, and with all the trouble of productions, he really, he should have had another Bond movie in there somewhere maybe. And he's even though he's sort of gotten tired of the role,
a man who's tired of playing Bond. 2 movies
which I guess kind of works,
Right.
So I got to give it to Craig just for sticking out and being Bond in an iconic role that he definitely earned his spot in.
Okay. So, Hot Sauce, what are you thinking?
As much as the Bond fan that I am, as much as I love No Way Home, I gotta go with Benedict Cumberbatch. I enjoyed Power of the Dog. I enjoyed Nightmare Alley. To me, there was more of a payoff with Power of the Dog. I think if Nightmare Alley hadn't made me wait so long for it to turn, I think that would have made me lean a little bit more towards Bradley Cooper.
They literally make you wait till the very fucking end of that movie.
Yeah.
Well, just the first hour of that movie, you're just sitting there like, holy fucking shit, can we get on with this already? The Power of the Dog is it's slow, but it's consistently slow, but it wasn't slow where I was like, come on, something's got to fucking happen. Like I was still with it through the
Benedict keeps you watching.
Yeah.
His character makes you want more.
Yeah.
You're like, what's this going to do next?
What's this racist, sexist, homophobic cowboy motherfucker going to do next? Oh shit,
Right.
He did that. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Benedict Cumberbatch, Power of the Dog.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but he went, he'd go like a week without showering.
Really?
Yeah, because he just sort of be more in character.
Okay.
He figured, my character wouldn't be showering all that often. And so he's trying to get in the time and all that. So
they think you should bathe.
He even said, I think at one point, like they were going out to some nice restaurant and like his family came to New Zealand or whatever.
Mm.
He was trying to stay in character. I think he had to bathe for that one, he said, and kind of get a little better looking.
I stink and I like it.
Or he just rubs mud on himself and goes into the river. That's how he gets cleaned.
So that boy finds his little magazine.
Strong Man magazine.
Whatever, the human physique magazines
Yeah.
and dudes and their cocks out.
There weren't no gay cowboys.
Right. Right. Whatever. But don't they talk about him Bronco, was it Bronco Bill? What was the name?
Hmm.
The guy Bronco Bill, is that the guy's name that they
I know who you're
reference all the
talking
time?
about.
Well, they like the one time, don't they talk about him saving Benedict's character
From
with
freezing to death.
by holding each other?
And the kid adds I think the kid asks him, he's like,
Yeah.
so were you guys naked? He just looks at him.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything.
Hey, I think that Benedict had a great performance, and like we just pointed out with Hot Sauce, his character left you wanting more, and he delivered. I mean, he definitely stood out, but I got to go with Daniel Craig. I mean, I just feel like last Bond movie for him, he delivered. I mean, he was spectacular in it, and it's just a role that he's never really gotten enough credit for. And by
Because
golly,
he doesn't want to do it.
right, I'm going to give him some goddamn credit where credit is earned and deserved. And all your pain and suffering has been rewarded, sir, for us sleazy.
It was Bronco Henry as well.
Bronco Henry. Yeah, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, he's like, well, Bronco Henry taught me how to ride a horse. That he did.
Yeah, I think Bronco Henry
Say
taught him a little bit more.
horse in quotes. Horse.
Whose horse is that?
Yeah, there was definitely some weird scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, what the fuck's going
And he
on?
fucking chases him naked. He's like, get out of here. Go and get.
He's like, get out of here, you little bitch. Okay, so Daniel Craig is our winner for Best Actor. All right. I mean, I think we've had some great discussions here on this, and
and some not so great discussions. I'm not looking at you, Rob. I'm just
I
saying.
understand.
we did play you off a couple times.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So this is it here. We're not going to say our best director on air because we obviously fudged that last category, but you'll see it in an Instagram post or whatever post we put it in once I make the artwork for it. But we are at the final category of this year's Sleazies, the second annual Sleazies, ladies and gentlemen. Best Motion Picture. And the nominees are Spider-Man No Way Home, Dune, House of Gucci, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, Ghostbusters Afterlife, No Time to Die, King Richard, and Don't Look Up. All right, who wants to go first? You know what? Actually, I'm going to make Mr. PBS go first.
Okay, well,
I've got this order and how I want it to go.
as much as I enjoyed No Way Home, I said at the time that it's just an okay movie with some really great moments in it. So I can't get behind it as a best picture. And it's hard for me to judge Dune as a book that I really like, and was sort of disappointed with the movie in that respect.
It wasn't a good movie.
And of course, I thought Ghostbusters was really good for what it had to work with, and it had its moving moments. But I'm tempted to pick that one, but I think Hot Sauce or Sleazy said something earlier in the show where Nightmare Alley felt like a movie in a way that not a lot of movies feel like anymore. And even though I'm with Hot Sauce, it did have its pacing issues. And that first hour was like its own movie.
Yes. I'm telling you, when I texted you guys, I was like, it felt like a 10-hour fucking movie. It's a 10-hour movie.
And it kind of got me thinking of like a movie like There Will Be Blood, which is like a really great movie, but not one I'm definitely itching to watch, all the time.
Right.
And I think I want to pick Nightmare Alley.
Okay. It's Nightmare Alley. Robzilla.
For me, I do love Spider-Man No Way Home, but for my choice, I'm gonna go Ghostbusters.
You're going Ghostbusters.
I'm going Ghostbusters. I love the new characters they brought in. They brought in some of the old characters. I enjoyed the cast and what they did with it.
It's okay, Rob. Just say it made you cry. No shame.
There's a couple of scenes there. It got me going.
When Egon's there. With the
Oh
proton
my
pack.
God. And of course everybody's been doing the meme, well, with TikTok with the Chad Kruger song.
Yeah.
And then of course they put that moment in there. I'm like, oh my God. It just
You
gets
baby back, bitch.
I know. But I mean, it's still, yeah, Ghostbusters for me.
Okay. Hot sauce. Notice this year we don't have a fuck you, Rob moment.
Yeah, and that's why I say I had to call him a baby back bitch, because would it truly be the Sleazys if I didn't cuss out Rob?
It's
No.
not.
Rob did have a point that year. That was Rob's moment then.
Yeah,
His head.
this is
exploded.
hard. I mean, this is really a difficult choice. You know, when I saw Spider-Man, when I saw No Way Home, I think immediately it was like, oh, best picture of the year. Like, this is it. Can't beat it. Can't top it. Can't touch it. Now that I've watched it a couple more times and kind of had a little chance to reflect on it, I think I may have knocked it down a half a star on my Letterboxd, maybe. Just because there's plot hole issues with it that just kind of really bothered me, and some of the stuff they did. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters was a fun movie. It wasn't something that it wasn't like some groundbreaking, blockbuster, like the summer hit. It was a movie that paid homage to everything that everybody loved about the old series, with keeping it new and bringing something fresh to it. Dune, I thought it was beautiful. I loved it. This is hard. See, because I really like Dune as well. I thought it was a beautiful movie.
I feel like if they'd have made Dune one movie instead of two, I could have gone with some. I'd have felt better about it.
Yeah. And I think when I watched these, I think I even told you guys, because I watched them fairly close together, that I liked The Power of the Dog a little bit more. In that first hour of Nightmare Alley makes it so fucking hard for me to watch, but it was a movie. Like, I mean, that was like the movie that, when you say that, it brings you back to, movies when you were a kid, it feels a certain way. And I think that's kind of like what Nightmare Alley did, and it's
That
like,
hour really makes the payoff.
yeah, and that really brings something there that really brings it home and kind of closes it out. So even though I think at the time, I think I liked The Power of the Dog a little bit more, I think for like, what was the best movie that I watched last year, it'd probably be Nightmare Alley.
Okay, so what do we have here? Two
Nightmare Alleys and one Ghostbusters.
So we discussed earlier that I would be the tiebreaker if we had tiebreakers. I think of the best movie that I watched, and I think of a couple things. How much fun did I have watching it? The experience I had watching it, and how did it make me feel when I watched it? Was it, just something? I mean, Nightmare Alley is a phenomenal movie. Like I said, it does something to you that if you're a fan of the cinema, it takes you back. It makes you feel like a kid again, like you're watching something for the very first time, Spider-Man No Way Home was really fun. And it was definitely one of the better movies of the year, just because it was anticipated. And I think it was one of the most, I don't know how you say it, but I mean, they really went all out on this movie. I mean, that's quite a challenge to put 3 generations of Spider-Man in a movie along with their villains and make it all pay off in a certain amount of time. We're not talking about 6 episodes on Disney Plus. We're talking about 2 hours in the theater, getting the pacing right, in, putting a good product out there at the end of the day. And I think they did. I don't really care too much about the plot holes that is bothering Hot Sauce and some other people, but it is what it is. Ghostbusters, I just felt like it was, something that I had been waiting on for years, and it paid off, and I had fun watching it. I bawled like a baby, Cried like a little bitch in the theater. I'll admit it. You know, when Egon,
Cried like a little Rob.
when Egon was helping her, and you know, they had their moments. You know, the Ghostbusters looked over at Egon, and it felt real because you know, a part of them, I think, were saying real things in that.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, a couple of them had a falling out with what's his face in real life. But I mean, it's something about Ghostbusters. It's an emotional movie. It's super fun, and I mean, you know, I thought it was as close to a perfect movie that you could make for that movie in particular. For you know what they were going with, the options they had, with it being how many years later from the first two Ghostbusters.
Right.
So I gotta go Ghostbusters Afterlife, man. I mean, maybe that's just the fanboy in me, but you know, I mean, it's tough because Nightmare Alley was good and Spider-Man was good. But yeah, I gotta go Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's the Sleazys, man.
Of course.
You sound very emotional.
I am.
Are you happy that I agreed with you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm waiting for a
So, I mean-
backhanded comment afterwards. So that's why I'm just like,
We're tied, and it is the Sleazys. You know, it's my fucking show.
okay, diva.
You just shut up before you get played off again.
I was hoping that's where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I don't want to disrespect your guys' opinion, but I mean, I think we're going to award this one to Ghostbusters. What do you guys think?
Your award.
Yeah, I guess so.
Got your face on it, doesn't it?
Yep.
I just noticed that.
I try to make it as fair as possible, but you know, besides the awards that we have that are special to your strengths, such as shitty movies for Robzilla.
Yes. Very.
And score for you. And hot sauce, do you have a hot sauce of the year?
Trying to think if there's anything that I've really been enamored with this last year. Things were a little wild with the move and the pandemic still and everything. So I don't know if I've got a solid pick for that this year. So
You got a new restaurant of the year.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Do you have a new restaurant of the year? You've been going to a lot of new places up there.
Danny's Pizza on the south side of Chicago off of Archer. That's a really good pizza. That reminded me a lot of being back in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Danny's. I think it might just be called Danny's Pizza. I think there's like a Danny's Bar, though, or a Danny's Bar and Grill. But this is Danny's Pizza off of Archer on the south side of Chicago. It's a good pizza place.
All right. You falling asleep over there?
Yes.
You thought that was a zero sugar Mountain Dew. He's fucking wrecked.
It says 0 sugar Mountain Dew on it that I gave him.
You don't have an insulin pump, do you? You're not.
No.
You don't have a pump. No.
No.
Somebody reach over and pull the battery out of his pump.
Slap him to keep him awake.
Get the fuck up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is there any honorable mentions anybody wants to put in there that we just didn't mention? And if you're listening to this and you're wondering why isn't there any Apple shows? Or we're not paying for Apple TV.
I haven't found a way to bootleg that reliably.
Yeah.
So I'm not watching Apple TV. I just
Reached my limit.
yeah. I mean, there's just too much shit. So if you're not on the mainstream, is what it is.
I will say though, as far as Apple TV goes, I've got a friend that's very into the Apple ecosystem. I mean, he's locked in hardcore. And we were just having this discussion the other night. Swan Song on Apple TV is supposed to be fucking good. And he said it was fantastic. He said it was fucking awesome.
Who's in Swan Song?
Ali, Mahershala Ali.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
The kind of the synopsis that I picked up from it was like it's kind of we're in the future a little bit, and they've kind of figured out a way to kind of clone people, and they have all their memories and everything. So I don't know if he has an illness or if there's something terminal or what it is, but he's on his way out, so to speak. And so he's presented with the opportunity to kind of like, hey, get your affairs in order. We're going to go ahead and replace you with this clone so that your family can continue on without you. So it's kind of a sci-fi futuristic kind of thing going on there. And he said that his role, it's an amazing movie, amazing character, amazing acting. He said that Swan Song is fantastic.
Oh, okay. So I guess we have an honorable mention for the Apple service.
Yeah, very, very highly suggested. Is that the right? Very, 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 very suggested.
Very.
Yeah, there's been plenty of praise for some of their shows and movies.
I know Ted Lasso won like fucking everything at the Golden Globes or
Was it?
whatever. So, or the Emmys.
Coda just won Best Picture.
Yeah, that did too. So, I just don't feel like giving Apple any of my money.
They've got enough.
Or my time.
Yeah, and I fuck Apple.
And then there's also something with that too. I know, like I said about being locked into the Apple ecosystem. We're all pretty, much not Apple.
Right.
I've heard that while you are able to sign up for Apple TV as a service through your Fire Stick and whatnot, that it is crippled and that it does not allow you to watch like all of the content that's available. Some of the content has to be streamed from an Apple device.
See, fuck them, dude. Seriously, fuck them.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's changed. I don't know the exact particulars behind that. Because I was actually looking into it. Could I sign up? There's a couple shows that I thought maybe I may want to watch. Sign up maybe for a month or two, then drop it. And I think it was in the reviews on the Fire Stick store, the app store for the Apple TV app. They're like, don't even fucking do it, because if you don't have an Apple TV, it's not going to let you watch these other episodes.
That's
so like they really want to lock you into that Apple ecosystem and really keep you, in that Apple, walled off in that garden.
I'm not buying a fucking Apple phone just so I can watch all the episodes of fucking Ted Lasso. Like, and I don't think they're putting any of that stuff out on like Blu-ray either, are they?
I don't think so.
You have to have Apple to watch it. Like, fuck them and their fucking Apple.
You too, Rob. Fuck you.
Yeah, and fuck Rob.
Gonna get Rob an appointment with Tim Cook or whatever. Tim Apple.
Yes.
Yeah.
As our former president called him.
Now it'd be different if like Apple like offered us a deal to go podcast on their network or something. Then I'd have to be like, yeah, Apple's the best.
Right.
Sell out.
On the forehead.
I'd sell out like a motherfucker.
In a heartbeat.
You guys would be right there with me too, going to the bank.
Yes, sir.
I'd be like, yeah, Apple's the best, guys. Check out my new iPhone with the 5 fucking cameras on the back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 129 of the Sleazy Podcast, the second annual The Sleazys. Hopefully you enjoyed our awards. If you didn't agree with us or whatever, let us know. Tell us to fuck off.
Tell us a show or movie we missed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we did miss some. The timing, there's just so much shit to watch, and we did the best we could, as far as managing, everything that's going on in our lives. And I know for me, it's been a busy 3 weeks in general. So it was quite the challenge to kind of catch up on everything and then find everything and, not have to go to the movies to see everything. And
that's trying to find the shit. What service is it on? This is now we're getting into the bad of having all these streaming services.
Yeah, it's almost too much. It's overwhelming at times.
Mm-hmm.
And like I know there's tons of shows that I need to watch, but I'm just like, oh, it's just too much. It's too much. I gotta live a little. Enjoy other things. You want to rewatch stuff you love too. On top of that, we know you ain't watching anything new.
Yeah, that's always the toughest decision. Do I want to give this movie 2 hours, or do something else, or watch this movie I've been meaning to rewatch for so long?
We already know Robzilla's problem. He just finds the shittiest fucking thing that Amazon recommends to him.
I know Mr. PBS been watching some Leprechaun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I did see
He got
that.
that in for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
that's right. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Oh, he had a 2-week fucking marathon of that shit.
What's your favorite? Is it Leprechaun in space?
Leprechaun in Space is terrible.
It's
Yes,
aw-
it
it's
is.
awful.
It's bad.
It really is the most terrible. Like anything good about the Leprechaun movies is not in that movie. But like the first one's kind of fun because Jennifer Aniston and all that. But part 3 is really interesting. Part 3 was actually like the most rented movie of 1995 or something like that.
Really?
And it's very, it's very, direct to video, direct to HBO kind of thing. But it's kind of fun, Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun's got all these stupid rhymes and he kills people. And there's one where like bites a guy's toe off.
Oh my God.
And there's a funny joke in the first one where they throw shoes at him because he's a leprechaun, so he's got to shine the shoes.
Mhm.
So they're very dumb. They're not particularly scary. When I remember renting the first one on VHS when I was younger and be like, oh, I'm not watching those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's how it was in the
remember
first one.
seeing the posters in the video store, and you watch them now. They're not scary at all, but they're a good time if you're just sitting around. Very black comedy kind of stuff.
That first one, I remember like renting it religiously. Almost like
I remember it scaring the shit out of me as a kid.
Well,
the first one.
the fat guy eats the coin, and at the end, like the leprechaun takes his buckle off and starts slicing on it.
yeah.
And I remember being like,
I need me gold.
my gold. I need a gold.
So they've been fun, stupid fun,
The chase scene with Jennifer Aniston towards the end.
Yeah.
Like,
and
oh my
importantly,
God.
they've almost all been under 90 minutes. They get in there, do the thing, and they get out.
There's
they-
Mr.
they-
90 minutes here.
They get it right.
All right. So that is the end of our episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the second annual Sleazys. As always, my call to action is to share the show with someone, and from there, hopefully, they'll share the show with someone else. As always, keep it sleazy, and we'll see you next time. I reckon.
Thanks for listening to the Sleazy Podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and remember, listen to Sleazy.